Let's go!
Hey, I'm Monty.
I'm Tiff.
I'm Lillian.
And these
are a few
of our favorite
things.
Hey, guys. Mighty Sharp Network. We in the building, man. God is good. Back once again. I'm very excited. We have Miss Lillian here. Lillian Channelle. How you doing, Lillian?
I'm great. Thank you.
And, of course, as always, my co-host, the one and only, the world famous.
Uh-oh.
Tiffany.
That's me?
That
Hello.
is you. That's
Hello.
who else I've been talking to. You all right?
That's right.
Man, I know I'm kind of messing up my protocol, but I'm really excited today, and you're about to hear why. Okay, we back. Thank you again. Sorry about last week. We didn't have a video up, but thank you guys, those people. Man, so many of y'all already hit me up, and I really appreciate that. As of this time when we're taping it, the show just came out, but appreciate the reviews, appreciate it. Joe, you coming back on the show. We're going to get you on video. We can give you the full treatment, my man.
Gotta have him. Yeah.
We will. Joe is really, really a great guy. But I told you guys with this show, I said, this is like Music 101. Y'all going to get a real crash course in music. So Lillian is a singer, but not just a singer, y'all. She's an opera singer. You understand? So just, y'all about to get culture up in this Humpty Bumpty today. I told you. I'm so excited. Opera. This is it. I know people maybe have a misconception. Opera, what they just sing it's like a different language, and it's just like all this fancy stuff. Well, it is a lot of times a different language, but it doesn't have to be. But a lot of times it is. But we're gonna get into all of that real quick, though. Lillian, first of all, let me ask you this: how did you even get into singing opera?
Wow.
Like, how does one just stumble into that?
Right.
Yeah. It's a good question. Actually, when my dad was stationed, he was in the Army, and his last duty station after he served in the Saudi War was California, Barstow, California, nowhere. And my honors English teacher heard me sing with the college jazz band. So there were always people that were just like, oh, you can sing. Let's put you in choir or this and that. Or you're good with theater. Do this. So my honors English teacher's husband was singing with the college jazz band too. And so the next time I saw her after a performance, she said, Lillian, I brought these two opera singers, and they were two African-American opera singers, famous. One was Jessie Norman and one was Kathleen Battle. Yeah. And she said, listen to these two opera singers. You're either going to be a lawyer or an opera singer. And I said, okay. so,
opera singer it is.
Yeah. Well, I listened to them and I fell in love, and I thought, wow, if I could just learn to sing like that one day, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. And then from then on, I went and I couldn't decide whether I was going to do theater or opera, but I just dabbled in both.
Yeah.
But I wasn't formally trained until way later.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Now, formally trained, what does that mean?
So that means that you get a teacher, you get a voice teacher, and then that voice teacher teaches you technique. They teach you how to sing with proper vowels, Italian, like 7 Italian vowel sounds, E, A, R, O, U, A, and E. And then...
Right.
Can you tell one more time? Can you tell me one more time? Because I'm going to try to do that one time.
Yes, it's E, A, R, O, U, A, and E.
Ah. Or E.
I want everybody to go over that 7 times right now.
I'm going to practice.
See,
it's going to take me a minute, but that was great.
So basically, you saying, Lillian, that James Brown couldn't have been able to sing opera? Because I don't think James was able to say all of those. You know, James was just, I don't think it's...
I mean, he probably could have learned, honestly.
He maybe could have. Okay. Anybody with a voice can learn?
Yeah. And I think so. I do, teach as well. So,
that is amazing. Now, okay, so I'm getting ahead of myself. Now, of course, this show is our favorite sings. You picked for one of your favorite sings, The Greatest Love of All, by Whitney Houston.
That is such a good one.
People, y'all don't even know. Okay, now let me give you a quick history very quickly. This show is our favorite sings on the Mighty Sharp Network. Mighty Sharp, what is that? MY-T-Sharp. Mighty Sharp is the barbershop from Coming to America, the movie. Isn't there a singer in Coming to America, the movie? Yeah, his name is Randy Watson. And what did Randy Watson sing in Coming to America, the Black Awareness Rally? He sang The Greatest Love of All. I don't even need it.
I thought it was my queen to be. I was being ready.
No, not my queen. Randy Watson
sang
I Believe the Children Are Our Future.
Okay.
So when you said that, I said, all right, and so anybody that's grown, not y'all young folks, you know that every wedding for probably 1982 to 1992, somebody sang the greatest love of all.
Yeah, that was definitely the wedding song for decades, for sure.
Everybody, and it just took you to. So what about that song?
First of all, I was a huge Whitney Houston fan. You know, even though I wasn't formally trained, I was always doing music. My uncle was this big preacher, and my parents took me to little auditions, and I would get girls together, and I'm like, let's do How Will I Know by Whitney Houston. And I literally would, produce this little performance with the girls. And so Greatest Love of All was just epic. I mean, it's classic.
That was huge, yeah.
I loved it. That whole album was my favorite. Yeah. And I sang her all the time. I mean, just all moments. And I just thought that song, I love children.
Yeah.
So even though I was a child, I was teaching children too, since I was a child. Yes. Okay. And so I was just, that song, everything about it was beautiful and inspiring.
It's in the original song when Whitney does it. It's in the key of A for my music heads. And I love the piano. I love the, that little electric, it just takes me back. Tiff, do you have any connection with the greatest love of all? I mean, I know
it's Whitney.
It is.
So, and I'm an 80s baby, so I'm connected by birth.
For Whitney, for us,
yeah.
I defy anybody. Come on, in your mind, I just saw the meme. I want to dance with somebody. And everybody in my mind, like, I want to feel the heat. You always go up on that heat part.
You have to. And I do my finger usually, too. And sometimes I hold my ear, and it helps a lot, too.
So, I mean, we not even ready for Whitney Week yet. That'll come. But, I mean, that song really, I mean, the lyrics are outstanding. And I'm going to find it. I found the songwriter. She's no longer with us, but she wrote a couple more hits, but this was her signature hit. For the songwriter, and it really, I don't even know, it's a different time when you hear that song. It takes me to a different place, like you said, 80s folk, no internet, stuff so moves fast. Now I know I sound old saying that,
No.
But no, it's true. It's true.
So true.
It's true. Yeah.
And that song is timeless. That's timeless. Okay.
And there's a shimmy that goes with it too, like a dance. I do it. I usually do. It's fine. Okay.
But let me give credit to the lady as well. Her name was Linda Creed. Wrote it. She had actually a writing partner as well, who I don't have, but she wrote that, and she wrote "Bet You by Golly Wow," which was originally sung by Connie Stevens, but then Prince, Phyllis Hyman, they did that as well. She wrote a couple good ones.
That's a nice fun fact. I didn't know she wrote that.
She had a nice career. Did some stuff. Johnny Mathis, Teddy Pendergrass, and all that. I like to always shout out the songwriters as well. So I want to get back to opera now. So when you're singing opera, do you actually feel like it's a different kind of, I don't want to say a different way to sing because it's your voice, it's your instrument, but if you were just singing, like I said, if you were singing a Whitney Houston song, if you're singing somebody else, do you have to go to a different place for opera? It's like, hold up, now I got to change everything I'm doing for.
I do. It's funny you say this because I'm doing on my album that's coming out on December 6th called Tribute. Yep. Which is for my parents.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, they passed away this past year within like about 4 months of the other, one another. So I wrote a song for my mom on there called Lullaby. Mm-hmm. And that song is about my mom, but it's a pop kind of song. Mm-hmm. But the songs on the album are all different. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of meshing and incorporating hip hop. There's a rapper. Mm-hmm. There's jazz. There's Latin music.
Oh, so many
There's
different
rock. Yeah. But, on the rock song, for example, I'm singing operatically. It's this popular rock song alternative from like the 90s. Mm-hmm. And I questioned myself doing this crossover stuff because sometimes I wanted to sing lighter, and I do.
Yeah.
And so it's like, well, how does Lillian sound lighter with this bigger operatic voice? Like, there are lighter operatic voices and there are bigger ones.
Okay.
Mine's on the bigger side.
Okay.
Right.
So I wanted to scale it down so that it was a little more accessible. The album is fun and it's different. Still give people the opera, but I'm also giving you, I can do a little bit of jazz. I can sing a little lighter, etc. A little bit more contemporary.
Okay. Okay.
So I don't know. Did I answer the question?
Listen,
I
I'm
think
pretty
so.
Sure you hit some good. You hit some good points in there.
Stay focused.
You brought up pop. Can you tell us what popra is?
Pop
Yeah.
opera. Well, I can tell you what pop opera is,
Perfect.
kind of.
Okay.
So, like, if you think of pop, for example, with contemporary music, it has a certain sound to it. Although I think different artists, depending on who they are, Beyonce's pop is different than Ariana Grande's pop,
Right.
and other artists. So, pop opera is really just popular. It's opera music that you would want to listen to over and over again, just like a pop song. It can sound Italian. A lot of it is, stems from Italian stuff, like Bocelli's song that they were playing at the water show here in Las Vegas.
Andrea Bocelli?
Andrea Bocelli, yes. But when you think of pop opera, you think of Sarah Brightman, like Phantom of the Opera.
Right.
If you remember Think of Me,
Yeah.
things like that. So it's stuff that's just has a popular sound to it with an operatic voice, really.
Do you find is it easier for like a listener that's not really into opera that much to maybe transition to like, okay, I'm listening to
Yes.
this.
Okay.
Maybe I'm not ready for the hard stuff yet. But
Yes.
Ease
much.
me into this. Okay.
Yes, but it actually depends. So there are people that have never heard opera before, and it depends on the voice and the music that you hear. People who've never heard opera, they come to, a concert I do or something, and they're just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Because it could be, it's something that opera can make you feel something. If you think of Pretty Woman, I think it was Richard Gere who said, you either love opera or you don't.
Yeah.
Or you hate it.
Yeah, did he?
But
okay.
if you don't
That's
like
old one,
it,
too.
But if you don't like it, you come to appreciate it. You can.
That's a good
Definitely.
point. That's a
And-
good point.
Definitely.
So,
Definitely appreciate it for sure. What about you? What I love about opera is that it's not just like a song. It's like a story.
Yeah.
You're telling me a story. So we get to follow this story. And it's almost like watching a movie.
Yes.
And that's what I like about opera the most.
Me too.
Yeah.
I love that because I kind of talked about it a little bit, but I was into theater as well.
Yeah.
So I had people pulling me in that direction. I went to California Institute of the Arts, top place for theater. I was surprised I got in because my resume was like this big, and everyone else had this resume like this big. And I was like, you want me?
It worked in your favor. That's all right. Yeah.
Exactly. But then when I had to combine the two, going from straight acting to opera, for example, it was a beast because singing opera, you have to use your entire body. It really is like training for the Olympics.
Wow.
Yes, very much so. So if you're a swimmer, you have to train a certain way and certain muscles have to work a certain way.
Right.
It's the same with singing opera. We use our face. We make sure that resonance is happening. We have to raise our soft palates. We have to use our breath here all the way around the body. Our legs, everything.
Wow.
And
Nice. I
so,
didn't know that.
oh yeah. So if you learn how to do that and you're training to do that and you build that stamina, unfortunately it also makes you hungry, but you use that stamina to perform. You have to also tell the story. You have to act. You have to wear these costumes. You have to coach all of this stuff in you. You have to be able to sing in the languages. So you're translating. You have to know what you're saying, and then you have to
Wow.
translate out of that language and, back and forth, and then interact with the characters on stage.
Yeah.
So you get staging, and then you get to the performance. It really is a
And
lot.
that was what I was going to ask you is the fact that, it's one thing if you're just out there singing, but a lot of times in opera, there's stuff going on and you have to actually act kind of while singing as well. And, some people can sing, but they're not great actors and stuff like that,
Right.
or vice versa. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? And it's like you're doing the whole thing and you have to be so expressive. And like you just broke down how you're using your instrument to really, is it I guess once you do it a lot, but at first, was it really distracting for you when you first got out there, like with a full ensemble?
Extremely. I mean, the first time I did it with, I'm not even going to talk about the stuff I did at the school. That was crazy. But when I went to the Academy of Vocal Arts, shout out to AVA, that this place is amazing. It's like you go here and, you know, it's all about putting you into a career. People sing at the Met, they sing everywhere, all around the world. If you get into this place, you're a resident artist. When I went there and I sang my first opera with them, my lead soprano. Singing lead soprano is like death. But if you have a lead soprano voice, that's what you're doing. So I was singing Marguerite in Faust.
Faust, okay, yes.
Yes. And the Philadelphia Chamber Orchestra was playing, and the maestro was conducting. You know, he puts us through all these paces forever, and then we get on stage. And their thing is, you haven't done it until you finished. Until you were in costume and you finished the whole show, then you can say you sang the show. And so when I went out there and I had to sing Marguerite's first aria, the whole orchestra's playing, I walk out and I was just like, somebody sucked the breath out of me, and I need breath to sing.
Yes.
It was terrible. And at first I thought I was just going to die. But eventually I kept pushing my way through it, and I made it.
Man, listen, you know, I know a lot of people might know. You might think you don't know, but you know Ave Maria. A lot of you guys, if you're a music head, you listen to this, you've heard Ave Maria, so think about that. But when I used to work a night shift job, and when I would get home, my boss always told me, he's like, you're going to have trouble getting to sleep, and I did. And back then, this is way back, I was in college, the only thing on TV was this classic arts channel. And I just had to watch something to get my mind to, you know. And I started to really see, you know, they'd have a guy just playing cello, you know, or it'd be like somebody doing ballet. And then I would hear a lot of opera singers. And I really started to watch that and really gave me an appreciation and a respect for how hard that really is to sing at that tone and that intonation that long. And I said, man, this, you know, and of course, you know, brothers is like, man, listen to opera. But I was like, man, okay, fine. You know, y'all don't want to have no cultured palate, fine. I'm trying to have one, you know. But I really, when I was in college, it really kind of put me on to a lot of the arts and things like that. But we're here with Lillian Channelle. She has an amazing album we're about to get into as well. But real quick, it's Christmas time. So by the time this comes out, we're going to be full into December. You also had one Christmas song. We asked all our guests for this month to give us a Christmas song as well. And you had White Christmas.
I used to tell my dad to sing it all the time.
White Christmas. Now, I asked you before we started, I said, which version? You just like the White Christmas version. Because, you know, Bing Crosby done did it, you know, and I think that's probably the one. That's the one, if you ever hear the one guy say, I'm drinking. I know Nat King Cole. A lot of people have covered it, but I believe Bing was the original. What about White Christmas that you love?
I just thought it was so beautiful. And even though I wasn't dreaming of a white Christmas, well, I kind of was in a way because I couldn't wait for Christmas. Yeah. I mean, I grew up in Germany where Christmas is stunning.
Really?
Beautiful. They have the Christkindlmarkt, and that's like a Christmas market where you can get apple like crepes and, you know, engraved glasses and things like that.
Germany, okay.
Oh, beautiful. So, you know, everything's decorated and it's cold and snow. So the White Christmas just reminded me of the snow. I couldn't wait for that to come. And my parents would say, you don't have to go to work in it. But I didn't know what they were talking about until later.
That's true.
So, and my dad had this gorgeous voice. Gorgeous. I mean, he would sing Otis Redding and all these other people and everything. And I would make him sing those too. But this was the Christmas song. I'd be like, Daddy, sing White Christmas. And
so you're okay, all right, okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And German Christmas, of course. So if you know, this show is called Our Favorite Things, which is a play on Our Favorite Things.
Okay.
Which is a song from The Sound of Music, which was German.
I love that song.
Devon Traps. So there we go. I mean, man, Lillian, you just all into it. So really quickly, please give your plugs. We've enjoy having you on. Just let people know again with the album and all that stuff. Go ahead.
Awesome. Well, yes, my album Tribute is dropping on December 6th, and it has everything for you. I mean, we have a dance version of an aria. An aria is an operatic song, just to be short. I'm also doing it with a trio, cello, piano, and violin.
Nice.
I'm doing this kind of bossa nova jazz song, Night and Day, that has the rapper on it. I'm also doing this Latin piece, Duerme Negrito.
Come on now.
Right.
Doing it, our
Hey.
style. It has a little,
Nice.
West African mixed with pan drums. It's really cool.
Wow.
Love it. So it's a different perspective of what I think of when I think of Negro spirituals, for example. This is it's not a spiritual, but it's like a lullaby from that area. It's kind of spiritual-ish because it was a slave from like Latin America singing to their black child and saying, "I'm going to work in the fields.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to
it's a
bring you
story.
food." Yeah, it's a
It's
story.
a story.
There we go.
And I just love it because it's just like a little tribute to my son too. So I think you'll love it. It has my hero on it. It has the lullaby from my mom. It has an Ave Maria,
See that?
Nice.
the one by Caccini.
Okay.
So you'll love it. You can find me at Lillian Channelle on Facebook, Instagram, and maybe Lily Channelle on Twitter because they had a word count thing going on. I was like, really?
Yeah, they do that. They do that.
Rude. And you can also join my official fan Facebook page if you want to talk more like, hey, you're awesome. Say that.
Yeah, shoot her a little.
Yeah.
Like, she didn't
I
give
want
you
to
some.
say that you are awesome. I'm
Seriously.
so glad you came.
I was
Honestly,
very
this was
excited.
great.
This is
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, I learned so much just sitting here just now.
Really?
You know?
How many languages do you speak?
Oh my goodness. It's funny. People always think I speak a lot of languages because I sing in them so well.
You sing a lot of
I
languages.
sing in a lot of
There we go.
languages. They're like,
That's-
oh my gosh.
That's
I'm
what
like,
it
wait,
is.
hold
yeah.
on. But I've taken the most Italian, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny. I go to I keep going over to Latin America and I still don't speak Spanish
ain't sticking.
fluently. But it's my goal.
Yeah.
It really is.
That's
When
all
they
right.
ask you something, just sing it.
So several.
Just sing it.
You can all right, just,
Yeah. When they talking to you, just sing
right.
Oh,
it.
yeah,
Yeah,
just
right.
sing it.
That's
That's it. I
That's
tell
all
you
you
that
gotta
too.
do.
But no, I do speak a lot of languages, and it's
Yeah.
so weird because I'll hear people talking Russian, and I'm like, oh yeah, wow, this is weird. I know what they're saying. And Italian, French, etc. So I don't know what it is. Like I have an affinity for languages,
Yeah.
but as far as being fluent,
Okay.
just English. So disappointing.
That's all right. That's all right. You're doing more than a lot of us is, So, man, this has been outstanding. I appreciate you coming on. You guys, seriously, check out her project when it comes out. I know y'all like to just go to work on trap music. Listen, go to work sometime with something else. It'll help your countenance. You don't come in all mad and stuff. That's the thing, man. Y'all listen to pow, 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 pow. And you coming in the spot mad at everybody in the job. Come on, man. Just woosah a little bit. All right? Thank you, Lillian. You're going to have to come back on again because you've been excellent. I really appreciate the time.
I would love to.
Me and Tiff are very grateful.
Yes.
All right?
Thank you so much.
Check her out again, guys. We will be back next week. We have some more guests. We full. We got a whole room full of folk right
Oh,
now.
yeah,
You
we
ain't seen them, but we got
poppin'
more
tonight.
folks coming.
Yeah.
This is our favorite sings on the Mighty Sharp Network. Monty, Tiff, Montiff. That's our little. I don't know if you know that's our joint name.
Yeah.
It's Montiff.
Ooh, I like
We
it.
merged it.
Hashtag.
Yeah.
We merged it together.
Merch.
Stay sharp. Thank you
Perfect. That was
so much. Man, that was outstanding.
That was fun.